Here is a cheat code that can make you a lot of money. Recently, we've seen so many obvious reasons to buy Bitcoin. Obviously, there are the underlying reasons to buy Bitcoin that have been around for 10 plus years. Decentralization, no third party, the ability to send value across the world in seconds, the fact that no one can print more of it. There are various reasons why people love Bitcoin, but on top of that, we've seen such a movement towards Bitcoin. We've seen so many billionaires and politicians that want to increase adoption of Bitcoin. Trump Media recently signed a $2.32 billion deal to buy Bitcoin as a treasury asset. Trump is also going to start a Bitcoin ETF. He's stacking like mad, and he just tweeted that he thinks that the debt limit should be entirely scrapped to prevent an economic catastrophe. Now, I should go back. He didn't tweet this. He put on Truth Social, and it's pushed over to Twitter. But he thinks that they should print, baby print. He's trying to get through the big, beautiful bill that will increase the debt, will increase the deficit. And yeah, people are still selling Bitcoin. People are worried about Bitcoin. But you zoom out, Bitcoin has been very bullish for a very long time. It's up and to the right when you smooth it out. I think we have further to go. But yet, there are traders like James Wynn, who says, big breakout, market manipulators sending it back again. When will this stuff end? Corrupt MFers. This is one of the biggest traders out there. He's trading hundreds of millions of dollars very aggressively, going 40x leverage on it. And you can lose a lot of money this way. However, there is a way that people are making money, and I've been able to make a lot of money, much safer than this, because we know where Bitcoin's going. We know it's going up and to the right. Obviously, over time, that's what it's done. You look at any kind of longer time frame, it's done extremely well. And if you use something like leverage, which isn't right for everyone, right? But if you use something like leverage responsibly, you can actually make significant amounts of money. We've seen a handful of times where Bitcoin went down 32%. This happened last year. From March to August, it went down 32%. This year, from January to April, went down 32%. Could we go down another 32%? It's possible. But we just started to rally up. We haven't made that next leg up yet. Right? We've done this many times where we take a big dip, then big move up. Sideways consolidation, big dip, big move up. Sideways consolidation, big dip, big move up. But we're still not at that big move up yet. Jerome Powell has not cut rates, but countries across the world are cutting rates. Tariffs, there's still uncertainty there. But everything is pointing to Bitcoin. So what can you do? Obviously, you can buy spot, right? You can buy Bitcoin, you can buy crypto. If you have a long-term time horizon, you're going to do well, to be clear. Of course, you have to have the risk tolerance for it. You have to understand it. If you want access to more crypto, you can get bigger returns and take on more risk. That's where leverage trading comes in. I like Bydfi because they allow you to do something that we'll talk about that other platforms don't allow you to do. They allow you to trade with crypto as collateral. For example, like Bitcoin, you can trade Bitcoin with Bitcoin as collateral, which is great because a lot of people, they start trading and they realize they need USDT, right? So they have to load more crypto in, or they have to load more money into something like Coinbase or Binance or whatever, transfer it over, and then they're stuck in USDT. However, if Bitcoin goes up, you want your collateral to be Bitcoin. So that way you have exposure to Bitcoin while you're trading. So that's something that's really cool that Bydfi does. Now, there are bad ways to approach this, and there are good ways in terms of how much risk you should take, right? There are ways that you can take on way too much risk, like James Wynn. Right? He constantly posts his trades. He's going 40x long. You can see his liquidation point, and whales want to push him out of trades. Right? We make a big move up, automatically goes back down. Market manipulators want these traders to lose money. They can make money from them. Of course, like James Wynn, he's very wealthy. He is in a different league. But some people try to emulate this, and then they lose a lot of money. So what do I do? What have I made a lot of money on? Well, you can see here. Let me just pull this up. Blowfin was one of the first exchanges I used, and I have really good gains on there. Right? I've gone more aggressive than this at certain times, but I have a lot of 3x to 7x long positions open right now. Of course, my SUI one is down significantly. You can see, not all of them are winners. We're down 55% of that, but you can see we're up 630% on Bitcoin, 155% on ETH, 83% on Sol, 300% on XRP. Now, unfortunately, this platform doesn't allow you to use Bitcoin and ETH and Solana and XRP as collateral. So I would actually be up a ton more if I could have put some Bitcoin into this. I'd be up almost double in terms of USD terms because Bitcoin's just about doubled. But, such is life. Recently, I opened up a trade on Bydfi. You can see here. I opened it up at 215. The price last time I looked is 220 on XRP. And we can do this for any crypto. You can do it with Bitcoin too. But I just want to show you because I have a trade open. So I'm up 2.33%, but I'm using 3x leverage on that trade. Of course, I could use 5x or 10x or 50x. This is how much I'd be up depending on those different leverages. So I'm up something like 5 to 7%, just depending on the moment that you look at it, right? Now, the cool thing is I have XRP as collateral. So how does that work? Well, I use XRP and send USDT to trade XRP. So if the price goes up, I get rewarded in XRP and the value has also increased. So walk through this with me. I'll make the math super simple. 100% gain in XRP, that's increased 10%. So let's say XRP is around $1, right? $1. Just to make the math simple, I know it's $2.15 or $2.20, but let's say you have 100 XRP and it's worth $100. So let's say you have 100% gain. You're using 10x leverage, again, to make the math easy. So that means XRP goes up to $1.10. You get a 10% gain times 10x, which is 100% gain. So now you have 200 XRP. You get rewarded 100% gain in XRP. You had 100, now you have 200. But now it's worth $1.10 each. So this 200 XRP is now worth $220. If you had done this in USDT, you would have only been given $200, or you would only get $200 in USDT. But now you get 100% gain in XRP. Okay, now, of course, if the price goes down and you close it, right, or get liquidated or something, I guess it doesn't matter if you get liquidated. But if the price goes down, you can lose more as well. Like, let's say you have a 5% drop and you're on 10x leverage and you take a 50% hit. Well, you're losing, or you're still in the collateral instead of USDT, which has gone down in price. But if things go up like we think and we use low leverage, hopefully we can weather the storm. Obviously, the biggest risk is we go into a long bear market and then all your positions get liquidated. But on the other side, if we go up and we're able to weather the storm, like I've done here, where we bought in at $55,000 Bitcoin, you can make a significant amount of money. Some of these other positions went down after I bought them, right? They weren't always in the green. The cool thing is you can always add collateral. You can add collateral to the trades to lower your liquidation point. So I wouldn't go all in or anything like that. I would make sure that you have some money on the sideline. So you can go 3x or 5x or 10x or whatever you want. Also, you can try to time it a little bit more. Like, I timed this drop pretty nicely. I actually timed this one too. Like, the big drops seem pretty obvious. Of course, we can always go into a bear market. That's what everyone's calling for. But look at this. Like, when we were in 2024, August 2024, we fell down to this exact point of resistance, 48,000. We had seen 48,000 as resistance here. We had seen 48,000 in the previous market, some resistance there. So, or the previous cycle. So I figured we bounce off this. I timed it almost perfectly within a couple $100, and I went super aggressively. I went 80x long on this, and I took profits pretty quickly because we bounced so hard. I was able to get hundreds of percent gain, and it doesn't always work out like that, but you can see the same thing happened this year in April. We fell down to the previous level of resistance. We had resistance in March. We had resistance in October. We had resistance around here back in the summer of last year too. So we bounced right off that level. I open long positions in this range. So we have that constantly. Of course, we haven't made a big leg up recently, but if we do, let's say we move up to 130, 140, look for that magical like 30% mark. And it's not always going to work because we will go through a deeper bear market at some point. But I'd be watching this like $110,000 range for support. Of course, we have had some support recently around 100,000. Like you can see here, 100,000, 101, 102, 103. The lows have gotten higher over time. So I'd be watching this range if you want to get a little bit more aggressive, but of course there's added risk. If you do want to trade, like I said, there are links to this underneath the video. You can check out Bydfi. Just make sure that you know what you're doing. Make sure that you're comfortable with the risk, because you can lose crypto this way. Also, if you want to check out, there are some other links too. If you don't want BYDFi, there's a link to WEEX, as you can see on the screen. There's also a link to BTCC and BitUnix. I like those platforms too. I use multiple platforms, but BYDFi is the only one that I use that allows me to use crypto as collateral, as far as I know. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.